Richard Rawlings built a car empire, a world of speed and shine that captivated millions. But what if the loudest success hid the quietest heartbreaks? We saw the flashy cars, the big smiles, the TV show, but missed the whispers that something was not quite right. What if his dream was built on something less solid with cracks waiting to show? Battles beyond the garage. Richard Rawlings, always looking to expand his Gas Monkey empire, ventured into the bar business. He opened Gas Monkey Bar and Grill, a big place for live music and food, in September 2013. Later, he also opened Gas Monkey Live in October 2014, another venue for concerts. These places were meant to be big successes, like his garage, and he even opened a second Gas Monkey Bar and Grill at Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport in March 2014. But trouble soon brewed, and it was not just a small storm. In late 2018, the license for the Gas Monkey Bar was ended. Richard claimed the bar kept using his brand without permission. He sent a warning, a cease and desist order, giving them just 10 days to stop using the Gas Monkey name and trademarks. When they did not stop, Richard hit them with a big lawsuit in March 2019, asking for $1 million. He said they were getting a free ride off his fame. What were Richard's claims? He said the bar was hosting inappropriate events that did not fit his family-friendly brand. He also said they partnered with a whiskey brand without his approval, which went against his brand image. On top of that, Richard claimed the bar owed him unpaid licensing fees, saying they had stopped payments even before he ended the agreement. But the bar fought back just as hard. They sued Richard, too, filing a defamation lawsuit in a Dallas County court in 2018. They accused him of trying to get out of a deal and spreading bad stories about them, seeking $6 million in damages. The court battle did not last forever. By August 2019, both sides made a deal and dropped their lawsuits. The exact details of the settlement were not shared. After this, the bar changed its name to Amplified in 2021, removing all Gas Monkey branding. Richard stepped away from it, even closing Gas Monkey Live in 2020. But did Richard learn his lesson? Despite the past troubles, he tried again to open a new bar in Texas, the Gas Monkey Ice House. But this new venture also ran into problems right away. Reports talked about early signs of trouble, like people in the local area not being happy, problems with how the business was managed, money worries, and new lawsuits. Some even wondered if this was the start of another failed business for Richard. A common thought among fans was that Richard's own ego, big ideas, and unrealistic plans were his biggest enemy, and that he had not learned from his past mistakes. With all the talk and drama around Richard, some truly wild stories started spreading online. Videos claimed he was a convicted fraudster and even locked behind bars. Some even said he collapsed in court after hearing his sentence for a Mustang scandal. But let us be clear, careful checking of public records shows these claims are completely false for Richard Rawlings of Gas Monkey Garage. The fraud cases mentioned in public records involved other people with similar names, like Kelvin Andre Rawlings, or completely different situations. While Richard has certainly faced many real lawsuits and controversies throughout his career, he has never been found guilty of fraud or sent to prison as claimed in some sensational online videos. It is a modern form of public shaming, a big personal cost of being famous. The pain of public divorces. Beyond the roaring engines and legal battles, Richard Rawlings has faced deep personal heartbreaks, especially in his relationships. His journey through marriage has been a bumpy road, marked by love, found, lost, and rekindled, only to be lost again. His first steps into marriage were brief. In 1993, Richard married Karen K. Grames, but this early heartbreak was a quick, sharp lesson in love as their marriage ended in divorce just a year later in 1994. Then came Suzanne Marie Mergel. Their story began in 1999 when they first married in Las Vegas, Nevada. Their marriage lasted about 10 years before they divorced in 2009. But their story was not over. In a surprising turn, like something out of a fairy tale, Richard and Suzanne decided to give love another chance. They quietly remarried in Cabo, Mexico in January 2015. It felt like a fresh start, two people finding their way back to each other after years apart. However, a lot had changed since their first marriage. Richard was now a huge TV star, and his gas monkey empire was growing fast, with restaurants, merchandise, and music venues. His world was moving at full speed, with cameras always rolling and fans watching his every move. Keeping a strong relationship was incredibly hard under such pressure. By 2019, things fell apart again. Richard and Suzanne quietly split for the second time. There was not much public explanation, but fans noticed Suzanne stopped appearing in his posts, and Richard seemed to focus more on his brand and travels. This second divorce felt like a quiet, sad end to what had been a very public love story. There is even a story about a special red 1968 Shelby GT 350 car. When Richard first started his business, he sold a Shelby GT 350 and GT 500 that he and Suzanne owned to get money to run the company. Suzanne was not happy, even though he promised to get her another one. He eventually did. When they divorced the second time, she told him to keep it. Richard said she told him to keep it because she did not like me much. This small detail speaks volumes, showing the deep sadness and lasting hurt from their split. But Richard found love again. In 2020, he married Katerina Rawlings. He proposed to her in Quintana Roo, Mexico, in a bed of sandy rose petals, and she said yes. Richard shared the happy news on social media, saying it was love at first sight and that Katerina was his everything. Katerina also shared her joy, saying she never thought such a moment would happen to her and that Richard had kept her smiling since their first date. This new chapter brought a fresh sense of hope and happiness to his personal life. Long before the cameras rolled and the world knew his name, Richard Rawlings was just a kid in Fort Worth, Texas, with a burning passion for cars. This love for all things automotive started very early, thanks to his dad. He grew up going to car shows and spending countless hours building cars with his father. One of the earliest photos of Richard, even before he was a baby, shows him sitting proudly in a toy Volkswagen Beetle pedal car. His dad was a hard-working man, often juggling 2 or 3 jobs at a time, all so he could afford his one true joy, a car or motorcycle he could call his own. Richard bought his very first car, a green 1974 Mercury Comet, when he was just 14 years old. Imagine being a teenager and already owning your dream machine. By the time he was a senior in high school, he was already on his third car, a cool 1977 Bandit Trans Am. He always worked hard, taking on any job he could find, just to be able to have cars. His high school classmates might tell you he was not exactly a ladies' man, but he sure knew how to detail a car. Before he became the gas monkey, everyone knows, Richard worked many surprising jobs. He was a firefighter, a police officer, and even a paramedic, all before he turned 21. He even spent some time delivering Miller Lite beer. One day, while on his delivery route, a man at a bar asked him what he planned to do with his life. Richard, then 19, said he wanted to be a police officer. The man, who turned out to be a mayor, helped him get into the police academy just 2.5 weeks later. But the call of entrepreneurship was strong. Richard eventually left those public service jobs to start his own printing and advertising company, Lincoln Press. He built this business from the ground up, pouring his energy into it. Then, in 2004, he made a big decision. He sold Lincoln Press. Why? To get the money he needed for his next, even bigger dream, Gas Monkey Garage in Dallas, Texas. This hot rod shop quickly became famous worldwide, building and shipping custom cars for people everywhere. Richard was not just a builder, he was a racer. He is a veteran of long-distance road rallies, proving his skill and daring behind the wheel. He won the Gumball 3000 and the Bull Run twice. But his most famous feat was the Cannonball Run. In 2007, with his friend Dennis Collins, he broke a world record that had stood since 1979. They covered 2,811 miles from New York to Los Angeles in a 1999 Ferrari 550 Maranello in just 31 hours and 59 minutes, driving at an average speed of 87.6 miles per hour. Jay Leno himself recognized him for this amazing achievement, and Richard even has a tattoo of the record time on his arm. This was a man who lived life at full throttle, always pushing the limits. A partnership torn apart. For many years, Richard Rawlings was not alone in building the Gas Monkey empire. By his side was Aaron Kaufman, known to fans as the Bearded Wonder. Aaron was the master mechanic, the one who could tear apart and rebuild anything with incredible skill. He was a huge part of Gas Monkey Garage and the Fast and Loud show, helping it become famous around the world. So it was a huge shock when Season 12 of Fast and Loud showed that Aaron would be leaving. Richard even said it came completely out of left field and was not his decision. What truly happened behind the scenes? Aaron later explained his reasons for leaving. He was tired of the incredibly tight deadlines that came with filming the TV show. He said the last 5 years felt like 20, with demanding schedules that often meant working 16-hour days just to meet filming deadlines. Beautiful classic cars that deserved months of careful attention were being rushed through restoration in just weeks. One former mechanic even said it felt like they were sentenced to live on a TV schedule instead of a normal work schedule. Cars that should have been treated like precious pieces of art were being handled like products on an assembly line, and the workers felt like they were not doing real restoration work anymore. They were just making television. More than that, Aaron wanted to build bigger, more challenging cars, like his eco-boosted De Tomaso Pantera. But the TV show needed smaller projects that could be finished quickly, and within a set budget for each episode. This difference in what they wanted to build became a big problem, a crossroads for him. Aaron also mentioned some growing personal issues and professional differences of opinion between him and Richard. Richard admitted that moving forward without Aaron's talents would be a painstaking process. After leaving Gas Monkey Garage, Aaron Kaufman opened his own shop called ArcLight. There, he specialized in restoring and modifying Ford F-100 pickups. He even had a short solo stint on a Discovery show called Aaron Needs a Job, where he toured the country and met people working on fascinating and challenging automotive projects. Despite the public split and the bad blood that some assumed, Aaron Kaufman and Richard Rawlings have actually left their differences behind. They are still friends today. Beyond the cars and the cameras, Richard Rawlings has faced deep personal pain and challenges that most fans never saw. One of the most heartbreaking struggles was watching his own father battle Alzheimer's disease. This difficult experience moved Richard to action. He channeled his personal sorrow into something positive by setting up the Gas Monkey Foundation. This foundation works to raise money for important research into Alzheimer's and other memory-related diseases, with 100% of the proceeds going directly to the charities they work with. Richard has always lived life at full throttle, and sometimes that comes with dangers. In the early 1990s, he even took a bullet while fighting off a carjacker who was trying to steal his 1965 Mustang 2+2 Fastback. This incident is a stark reminder that his life has always been about high stakes, even before the TV cameras. The constant pressure of fame, running a huge business, and always being in the public eye means his journey has been filled with heated arguments and bitter feuds. While some old rivalries have softened over time, the raw hatred from someone like Jesse James shows the true depth of some of these battles. In recent years, Richard has also spoken about his own health. He has discussed his thoughts on vaccines, mentioning that he knows people who got very sick from certain diseases, with some almost dying. He has also shared that his current wife has him working out, going to the gym, and taking vitamins, even if he jokes about walking up the stairs like he is going to death. Richard Rawlings has built an impressive empire, and his personal wealth reflects his decades of hard work and smart business moves. According to Celebrity Net Worth, Richard Rawlings has a net worth of $18 million. This substantial fortune is not surprising, given his long run on the hit show Fast and Loud, which aired over 300 episodes, and his many successful business ventures beyond the garage. At the heart of his empire is his incredible car collection, which is considered one of the wildest in Texas. His garages are packed with rare finds and personal favorites, each car telling a story about his lifelong obsession. Richard started building this collection long before the cameras were rolling, and his reputation for restoring and flipping classic cars was already growing. The Fast and Loud show made the vehicles featured on-screen stars in their own right, helping Rawlings grow his collection into one of the most recognizable in Texas. Among the iconic pieces that have passed through his hands was a 1964 Ford Model T Custom King T, which sold for $75,000. Other highlights included a 1965 Ford Mustang Fastback KC Code, a 1962 Chevrolet Corvette, and a 1978 Porsche 928. These classic cars were not just restored, they were reborn, often modified to meet Richard's bold standards. Even after listing 28 vehicles for auction, Richard kept several prized machines. His garage still holds a 1970 Dodge Challenger with a 383 Magnum V8 and a powerful 2015 Dodge Challenger Hellcat pushing 707 horsepower. One of the most unique entries in his collection is a 1968 Shelby Mustang convertible, which he modified for off-road use. This car was inspired by the movie The Thomas Crown Affair and features large, rugged tires. He also has a 1977 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am, capturing the essence of 1970s American performance. Richard is always changing his personal car collection, selling and exchanging some vehicles while putting others into storage. He has decided to buy more exotic vehicles, such as classic Ferraris and Lamborghinis, moving beyond the American muscle and sports cars he is usually known for. But he is not getting rid of everything. He intends to keep his famous lifted Shelby Mustang and a few other special cars. His collection also includes a 1967 Pontiac GTO and a unique 1951 Ford Eloque, which was modified in a shop near his garage and has stayed in the Dallas area its whole life. He even built an entire Dodge Challenger SRT Demon from leftover parts, a car that cannot be road legal because it has no VIN, but can certainly race. Another impressive car is his 1970 Dodge Challenger RT, which he restored and modified, stuffing a Hellcat engine into it to create an awesome 707 horsepower classic muscle car. He also owns a rare 1989 Lamborghini Countach 25th Anniversary Edition and a powerful 2021 Ram TRX pickup, which produces 702 horsepower. Richard has a knack for finding hidden gems, like the twin 1967 Firebirds he found in a shed, whose VINs showed they were the very first two Firebirds ever made. And for a bit of fun, he once equipped a beer cooler with a small motor, calling it the Rawlings Beer Cooler, and drove it around the garage with a beer in hand. When he is not in the garage, Richard lives in a jaw-dropping $14 million Dallas mansion. This luxurious home spans an impressive 22,000 square feet, a testament to the success he has achieved. What is Richard Rawlings doing now? Even after the cameras stopped rolling for Fast and Loud, Richard Rawlings has not slowed down. He remains one of the most influential figures in the automotive world, no matter the controversies that once surrounded him. His story shows us that sometimes the bravest thing you can do is know when to walk away from something, even when it is successful, to stay true to yourself. Today, Richard continues to focus on Gas Monkey Garage, but with a new approach. He shares their daily work and exciting projects on his popular YouTube channel and Instagram, giving fans a more direct and unfiltered look into the garage. This shift allows him more creative freedom, something he felt was limited by his contract with Discovery, which even held him back from starting an automotive podcast. Richard is always looking for new ventures. He launched Gas Monkey Sturgis in 2024, expanding his brand into new areas. He is also focusing his sponsored dollars on motorsports and has plans for a new automobile-themed reality TV show. He is actively buying classic cars through gasmonkeybuys.com, always on the hunt for the next big project. His website also offers a variety of Gas Monkey merchandise, from t-shirts to mystery bundles, and he runs exciting giveaways, like a chance to win a Demon 170. Beyond his business, Richard continues his philanthropic work through the Gas Monkey Foundation, raising money for Alzheimer's and dementia research, a cause close to his heart due to his father's battle with the disease. He uses his platform to help others, showing a side of him that goes beyond the fast cars and loud personality. Richard Rawlings has lived a life in the fast lane, filled with roaring engines and bright lights, but also marked by quiet heartbreaks and tough battles. From the pain of lost loves and the challenges of legal fights to the difficult decision to step away from his hit TV show for creative freedom, his journey is a true American story. It shows us that even the biggest successes come with a price, and that true strength often lies in facing your own struggles, learning from them, and continuing to build your own path, no matter how bumpy the road gets.